Have you ever imagined that the worlds of Pixar's Inside Out and Illumination's Despicable Me could be connected in a surprising way? Well, a fascinating theory suggests that Riley's mom, the little girl from Inside Out, is none other than Margô, Gru's adopted daughter from Despicable Me. Sounds crazy, right? But the evidence is jaw-dropping. Stay with me in this video because you're going to want to know all the details of this incredible connection between these beloved animated universes. Ready to unravel this mystery? Then let's dive in. The foundation of this intriguing theory lies in the striking similarity in appearance between the two characters, suggesting a surprising connection. When we compare Riley's mom from Inside Out with Margô, Gru's adopted daughter in Despicable Me, several common features stand out. First, both have striking brown hair. The shades are almost identical, raising some interesting questions. Beyond the color, the hairstyle shapes are also quite similar. Riley's mom sports a classic fringe that adds a soft touch to her face. Margô, on the other hand, doesn't have a traditional fringe, but the way her hair is parted creates an effect reminiscent of a side-swept bang. This subtle detail might seem insignificant at first glance, but it's a key point in the theory connecting the two characters. Both characters also have brown eyes, a common feature that contributes to the overall similarities in their appearances. And there's more. Both wear glasses, an accessory that not only serves a functional purpose, but has also become a significant part of their visual identities. The glasses reinforce the idea that these two characters might share more than just a few aesthetic coincidences. These physical similarities cannot be ignored and make us question if there is a deeper connection between Riley's mom and Margô. Are we just scratching the surface of a connection that hides an even bigger secret? The shape of their faces, the style of their hair, and even the way they carry themselves suggest a familiarity that goes beyond mere coincidence. What if these two characters, seemingly from different worlds, are actually the same person at different stages of life? These intriguing details provide a solid basis for the theory that Riley's mom could be Margô. In terms of personality, both characters are notably mature and responsible, which is a striking characteristic in both Margô and Jill, Riley's mom. Even as a child, Margô stands out as the oldest of the girls adopted by Gru, naturally assuming a protective and caring stance towards her younger sisters. Her maturity is evident in her actions and behavior, always seeking to take care of others and assume responsibilities usually expected of someone older. Jill, in turn, is a dedicated and extremely responsible mother. She not only cares for Riley with love and attention, but also remains present in every aspect of her daughter's life, ensuring that Riley has all the support and security she needs to face daily challenges. The way Jill behaves demonstrates a deep commitment to her daughter's well-being, revealing a strong and caring personality. In addition to their personalities, they also share a surprisingly similar taste in clothing. Both Jill and Margô display a style that is simple yet elegant, reflecting their practicality and sense of responsibility. Jill usually dresses casually, but with a touch of sophistication that reflects her practical and attentive personality. It's easy to imagine Margô, with her sensible and mature personality, choosing similar outfits as an adult. The preference for comfortable and functional yet stylish clothes seems to be a characteristic they would naturally share. It's interesting to note how Margô's style, even as a child, already suggests a future where she could very well adopt Jill's looks. Jill's clothing is suitable for a busy life full of responsibilities and care, something that perfectly aligns with our view of Margô as a responsible and mature young adult. These parallels in personalities and tastes in clothing provide an intriguing foundation for the theory that Jill and Margô are, in fact, the same person. Margô's early maturity, combined with Jill's maternal responsibility, forms a link that seems hard to ignore. To try to connect the worlds of Inside Out and Despicable Me, we have two main theories that might explain how these stories intertwine. Let's explore each of them in more detail. First possibility, they are the same person. The first theory suggests that Jill, Riley's mom in Inside Out, is actually Margô, Gru's adopted daughter, grown up and living a new life. After her adolescence and reaching adulthood, Margô would have left Gru's house to carve her own path. At some point in her journey, she met Riley's father, and the two fell in love. They got married and had a daughter, the adorable little Riley. A possible explanation for the absence of Riley's maternal grandparents, especially Gru, might be that Margô now lives far away from her adoptive family. This would explain why Gru and Margô's sisters don't appear in Inside Out. It's possible that Margô moved to a new city, far from her past, and is focused on her new family. Another possibility is that Margô decided to cut ties with her adoptive family to start a completely new life without looking back. This would justify the absence of any mention of Gru or Margô's sisters in Riley and Jill's lives. Second possibility, Margô is Jill's daughter. The second theory proposes an even more intriguing connection. Margô is actually Jill's daughter, which would make her Riley's half-sister. The three girls, Margô, Edith, and Agnes, are orphans in Despicable Me, and the theory suggests that they are not blood sisters. This hypothesis opens the possibility that Margô was placed in an orphanage by her biological mother, Jill, when she was very young. Let's delve into this possibility. Jill, when she was still young, got involved in a relationship and became pregnant. Feeling unprepared to raise a child alone, especially due to her youth and inexperience, she made the difficult decision to place her daughter in an orphanage, hoping she would have a chance for a better life. Years later, Margô is adopted by Gru and goes on to live her adventures alongside the other girls. This would explain why Margô and Jill are never seen together and why there is no mention of Margô in Inside Out. Jill, now a mature woman and dedicated mother, would have moved on with her life, finding a new partner and forming a new family, where Riley was born. In this scenario, Margô and Riley would be half-sisters connected by a bloodline that the characters are unaware of. Both theories open up a fascinating range of possibilities about how the characters from these two animated universes might be interconnected in ways we never imagined. And you, which theory do you find more convincing? Do you think Jill and Margô could be the same person? Or do you believe Margô is actually Jill's lost daughter? Leave your opinion in the comments. This theory that Inside Out and Despicable Me are connected is, unfortunately, extremely unlikely to become a fact. Several negative points make it difficult to establish this connection between the universes. One of the most determining factors is that the two films are produced by completely different studios. Inside Out is a Disney Pixar work, while Despicable Me was created by Universal Studios in partnership with Illumination Entertainment. These studios have no mutual collaboration and are actually competitors in the animation market, making the idea of an intentional connection between the films almost impossible. And furthermore, the release dates of the films do not support this theory. Despicable Me was released in 2010, and Inside Out premiered 5 years later, in 2015. This time difference indicates that each production was conceived at different periods, with no joint plan to integrate their characters or plots. There is no indication that the studios have any interest in interlinking their franchises, as each follows its own creative and commercial path. Another crucial point is the temporal and environmental context in which the films take place. Both seem to occur in the same era, with contemporary details suggesting a present-day setting. Even though the settings of each film do not directly overlap, there are no elements indicating an overlap or any concrete connection between the stories. This lack of explicit connection is evident and does not require confirmation from the studios, as the details provided in each film are clear enough to show that they were created independently. Considering these points, it is highly unlikely that Margô is Riley's mother. The chronologies and context simply do not fit in a way that would make this theory plausible. The only way to try to create a connection would be to suggest that Margô is actually Jill's daughter, Riley's mom. This possibility suggests that at some point in her past, Jill had a daughter who was put up for adoption, leading Margô to be adopted by Gru. However, this idea faces its own challenges, especially in terms of narrative and consistency with the universes established by the studios. The idea that Margô could be Jill's daughter adds an intriguing touch to the theory, but it still faces the reality of copyrights and the creative independence of the studios. Disney, Pixar, and Universal Studios would not share their intellectual properties in this way, and creating a storyline that connected these two characters would be legally and logistically complicated. It would indeed be fantastic if these universes were connected in some way, as it would open up a world of creative and narrative possibilities. However, the reality is that this theory is far from a concrete possibility. Each studio has its own set of characters and stories, and it is unlikely that there would be a collaboration to unite these distinct franchises. While it is fun to speculate and imagine connections between our favorite films, The truth is that this theory faces many obstacles to becoming reality. The magic of animations continues to live in our hearts and imaginations, but unfortunately, this idea of connected universes remains only in the realm of fantasy.